Hello everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and today we have another game discussion. And today we're going to be talking about Tales of Grace's F. And what can you say about Tales of Grace's F? Man, I really enjoyed my time with it, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just because I just came off of Xenoblade and or what, but this game felt like really short, and the storyline felt a little slight, and so there is a little bit of disappointment with this game, but at the same time, that might just be because I came off of Xenoblade, which I think is one of the greatest JRPG. It is. I think it's the greatest RPG of this generation, but so I don't know how this would have. If I would have played this first, how it would have really stacked up. But playing it after a game like Xenoblade, it does kind of feel a little bit slight in places. So let's go ahead and get into this and start talking about it. The storyline. Okay, we're used to RPGs that have a storyline of basically, you get a group of people together and you're off to save the world. Well, this falls right into that as well. But the cool thing about this is it has a much bigger emphasis on the characters and specifically their relationships with each other. And that's what I really dug about the storyline. In some parts, the storyline is a bit, like I said, slight. But I really, when the characters were interacting with each other, especially like Asbel, Sharia, and Sophie, when those characters were interacting with each other and you see them age through the years, it's really kind of a nice thing. That being said, I forgot to pick this up before I started making the video. Hold on one second. I always do this. I always run off camera, but hey, why not? Actually, when I got to thinking about the storyline, it really reminded me of something. It really reminded me of Arc-Rise Fantasia. And you're going to say, Dustin, why does it remind you of that? Okay, well, you have Lark, who is best friends with Alf, okay? And Alf is he's a higher up in the royal, he's a prince. He's a prince if I remember correctly. So, with that, Lark, you have Asbel, and then Richard, you have Alf, okay? And then, I can't remember all their names, but you have the redheaded chick there, Adele, that's her name. You have Adele there, redheaded chick, who is in love with the main character. In this game, you have a redheaded chick who's in love with the main character, okay? In Arc-Rise Fantasia, you have a purple-haired chick who talks weird and kind of has stunted emotions, who the main character kind of falls for. In Tales of Grace's F, you have a purple-haired chick who talks weird, who the main character kind of falls for. Okay, let's see what else. What else we got here? Arc-Rise Fantasia, you have a pink-haired chick that's kind of the crazy, wild part of the team. And then in this game, you have a red and white-haired chick who, if you mix red and white, is a pink-haired chick who's kind of the crazy, zany member of the team. So, there's some storyline, kind of overlap about, what happens with Alf and what happens with Richard in this. But while I was playing, I was like, man, which one crimped from, or they developed simultaneously and it's just a weird, happenstance, or did Arc-Rise come out first and then the Tales team just kind of took stuff off of that? It's kind of a weird thing, but I was just sitting there this kind of reminds me of Arc-Rise Fantasia, which, Tales of Grace has started out as a Wii game anyway, but I really like that the game is about these characters' friendships and about how, as we go through life, events happen, people change, but yet there is still a certain bond that you have with people. There's people that I haven't seen in years, but well, actually, this just happened at work today. One of the girls that I work in surgery with, She's a few years older than me, but she rode my school bus. You know, and for some reason we got talking about elementary school and stuff, and you know, we have never interacted before. You know, that moment we just kind of knew each other from back then, but we were able to strike up some kind of thing. So even like, you know, you have friends from a certain era, and let's say that years go by without even seeing them, there's still a bond there that if you want to reopen that door, you could. So that's kind of cool to see that kind of storyline in the game. That being said, there still is the world's in peril and we have to save it. But like I said, I think by the end of my game time, I was about 45 hours in. And the game felt really short. I'm assuming that's because I just came off of 100 hours of Xenoblade, so there's that. You know, and for all my sort of, I don't want to say disappointment, because I really did enjoy the storyline to Tales of Graces. But for all, you know, my sort of maybe pseudo disappointment with it, the battle system in this game. I love the Tales battle system. I love the fast-paced freneticness of it. I love that you can only use one item at a time, and then you have to wait to use another item. It really makes you think about if you want to use those items or not, instead of just, you know, spamming items. But in this game, I really do think that this game has the best version of the Tales battle system, and I know for a fact it has the best version of leveling up in a Tales game. And in this game, instead of your usual like basic arts and then mystic arts and so on and so forth, arcane arts, you have A and B arts. And basically how this works, you know, in the older games, I never really figured out how to chain together combos effectively. In this game, I was like just burning through it, just, you know, destroying things. I don't know if that's because it's dumbed down a little bit, or if I just really understood the system. But basically, you use your A arts by using the X button to start a combo, and then you can use the O button, and if you're Asbel, he'll basically draw his sword out and start attacking with his sword, and, you know, use your crazy strikes. I found this to be a lot more, a lot easier to pick up and play than previous Tales games. And a lot of previous Tales games, when you get into the battle system, you just kind of mash on the button. But in this one, I was really, you know, paying attention to what direction I put the L stick while I was doing my attacks to make sure I was chaining the right thing together to sort of build up my gauge. So I really think that this has the best version of the Tales battle system. Leveling up. Now this is what I think is great, because in Tales games they always have titles that you can change your character's title. And I never really understood what's the point of that. You know, in Symphonia, it would change your stats a little bit depending on, you know, what title you had in there. But for the most part, I never really found a reason why you would change your title. It never really seemed to affect anything. I couldn't figure it out. In this game, changing titles is how you learn your skills. It's kind of like Final Fantasy IX, where you equip items to learn your skills. So you equip just a certain title, and it has 5 levels you go through, and then once you beat those 5, if you put more experience points into it and level it up again, you'll master it, which will boost the stats you already learned. You do this by gaining SP in battles, and I don't know what it was, but, you know, for a while there, like, monsters were just giving me a lot of SP, and then as I got towards the end of the game, it was like they were giving me pennies. You know, like, I would beat these really tough monsters, and it'd be like, oh, here's 100 SP. And I'm like, well, I need 8,000 to level this up, so thanks for that. But I really enjoyed it, and you gain new titles by interacting with characters, doing certain story events, doing certain side quests, and how you attack in battles. Like, if you're Asbel and you use one of his arts a lot, you'll get a adept title, like a Fangblade adept title, and then you'll get a Fangblade master, and then you'll get like a Fangblade, I don't know, awesome guy title, and then you can level up the Fangblade art that way, as well as getting more vitality and more physical strength and things like that. So I really do enjoy the actual gameplay mechanics of the game, more so than the storyline. I still think Tales of the Abyss is my favorite Tales game so far. I still have a few more to play, a lot more to play actually. But in terms of storyline, it's going to be Abyss. In terms of mechanics, it's going to be Graces. If you guys see this out in the store, definitely pick it up. I don't know how rare it's going to get, but you know, Namco Bandai is kind of thinking about scrapping the Tales series over here in the States. We're still waiting on word about Exilia, so this might have a really low print run. I picked mine up on launch day because I wanted to support JRPGs. I've made a you know, kind of a pact with myself that when a new JRPG comes out, I will buy it on the first day, because not every JRPG. I didn't buy Hyperdimension Neptunia Mark II, but when the really good ones come out, I'm definitely going to buy those day one. So I had to go out and pick that up. Continuing on with the discussion, the graphics. Now, this game started off as a Wii game, and I don't know if they went back and just completely redid the entire engine for the PS3, or if they just kind of upscaled it. I haven't done the necessary legwork there, but I found the graphics to be very nice in a very simplistic kind of way. I still prefer the graphics of Vesperia. I think as far as the series goes, Vesperia, for my taste, has the best graphics. I love cell shading, and it just looked like you were playing a cartoon. It was awesome. But the characters, you know, they're kind of big and kind of waxy, a little dead behind the eyes. Sometimes their faces are very expressive, but other times it's just like looking at a doll, you know, like, and I find dolls creepy, and it's just like, you know, you get that a lot with Sophie. Sometimes her face will be very expressive, and sometimes it'll just be dead. But I found the graphics to be very nice. I kind of almost thought that maybe this game, Gust had something to do with this game, because while playing it, it really kind of looked and felt like a Gust game. And I don't see Gust anywhere on the back of here. That doesn't necessarily mean they didn't have anything to do with it. But, yeah, like I got a very Atelier Rorona kind of feel from the graphics for this game. And it's kind of weird when you think about it, how like games on the Wii are always kind of ported over to the PS3. You wouldn't think that those two systems would really be compatible, in that the Wii's not HD and it's got a much sort of more simple graphics engine. You wouldn't think that like they'd be porting Wii games over to the PS3, but they did it with Rune Factory Tides of Destiny too. So it's kind of interesting to think that, you know, Wii games are always going over to the PS3. Lastly, the thing that I talk about in these discussions is the music. And as far as Tales games go, this is like the most forgettable music in a Tales game. Usually in a Tales game, I always find one or two tracks that I really, really enjoy. But in this one, like I just beat the game, and I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, you know, none of those tracks really stand out to me. And a lot of the times I find the Tales games, a lot of the music sounds the same, like they use the same music for each game. So, you know, it didn't blow me away, but I do think that Tales of Graces F is a really good game. It definitely, if you find it out there, definitely pick it up, because it's probably going to be one of the rarer ones, because, like I said, Namco Bandai is not too sure about the Tales series over here. As we all know, JRPGs are on a sort of a slippery slope, and so, you know, companies are worried about their bottom line. Which, where did I see that article at? There was an article somewhere about how AAA titles are destroying the industry, because you know, companies don't want to take risks on things anymore. But I'm very happy that Tales of Graces F came out here. If it didn't come out in the States, I'd be very upset because I love the Tales series. While this is not my favorite entry in the series, it is definitely still a very good entry. It's a bit more lighthearted. The Tales series kind of is a lighthearted series in a lot of ways. But definitely after coming off a game like Xenoblade, this is definitely a very sort of lighthearted game. And in a lot of ways, it's what I needed as sort of a palate cleanser after Xenoblade. So very enjoyable. Definitely go out and pick it up. I don't know if they did a price drop yet or not. Probably not. I've seen a few copies at GameStop when I go by, you know, just checking things out. So they're still out there. But you should definitely pick it up. Definitely try it out if you like the Tales series or if you just like JRPGs. It's a bit more action heavy than your traditional turn-based RPG, but you know, after a few battles, you're right in there and you're ready to go. So there we go, guys. So yes, Tales of Graces F, very enjoyable game, but didn't blow me away. So there you go. So yeah. I guess this game discussion is over, and I will be going on to. I'm actually going to be getting the Saturn out right now and plugging it in and all that stuff, and getting ready to start up some Panzer Dragoon Saga. So, going to have that game discussion coming to you just as soon as I get that game done. So, look forward to that. All right, guys. That's it for me right now. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your comments. Tell me what you thought of Tales of Graces F. Some of you guys out there that that are subscribed to me, you already made your videos on it, and I of course watched those videos. And you know, I might have overhyped myself a little bit on it, but definitely still a very enjoyable game. And let me know what you thought of it, and or what you think of the Tales series as a whole, or if you haven't even started the Tales series. If you haven't started the Tales series yet, I would tell you to either pick this one up, or pick this Tales of the Abyss on the 3DS, or Tales of Vesperia up. Those are probably going to be the easiest ones to find. And I think GameStop has lowered the price on Vesperia. When I picked it up used, it was $34. And that was after a few years of it being out. I think it's down to like 17 now. But Graces if you can find it. Tales of the Abyss on the 3DS if you can find it. They're fantastic games, so. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.